Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling for our TNA 2007 playthrough. I'm BrendenPlayz. We've just recently had our Hard Justice pay-per-view, and now we turn our attention to our next pay-per-view, which of course will be No Surrender. Then of course it is Bound for Glory, so the next couple months are huge. The Bound for Glory series is still in full swing, and right now I can tell you that Abyss, Jeff Hardy, Chris Jericho, and Matt Morgan are all in the top 4. So the places are limited. Only the top 4 will make it to No Surrender and compete for a chance to challenge for the TNA World Championship at Bound for Glory. So we'll have more matches this week for the Bound for Glory series. Also, we need to probably do another big special event in between, now and Bound for Glory. More specifically, in between now and No Surrender, because we're kind of struggling to get through a lot of our Bound for Glory series matches. So what we've done is we've scheduled a one-night only event. And we're going to go to London. We're going to go to England, and we're going to do an event over there in the British Isles, and hopefully, make a little bit of an impact, no pun intended, in our popularity there. So that's the plan anyways. We're going to try and do a good show over there and try our luck there and see how we go. But this week, obviously, we've got the big news of CM Punk. He's just about ready to debut. He's got 8 days left until he can debut. We're going to put him in a feud, though, with Shannon Moore. So I figured I'd look at someone who has a bit of decent popularity that can put over CM Punk, so it will get CM Punk rolling a little bit. And I thought Shannon Moore was probably the right guy for it, considering he's about 60 popularity. He's a guy that we're not really utilizing, not really pushing, and could be on his way out very soon as well. So Shannon Moore will probably put CM Punk over, and we can start that feud this week as well. So that's something to look forward to. So CM Punk will be coming very soon. I'm going to try and utilize him. Our other storylines, as you can see on your screen already, but we'll show you. We're going to start building towards Lena and Melina. That's going to be our Bound for Glory pay-per-view match for the Impact Knockouts title. We've got Park and Romero, so 2 of our newcomers to the X Division. I figured let's throw them in a feud. Let's see how they go. We've got LAX. We're going to have them take on Aries and Strong. So there wasn't any strong heel teams for LAX to take on at this point, so we had to go with Aries and Strong, who are more of a mid-card team, but that's okay. And we'll see how they fare there. Any other new feuds? I don't think so. Shelley and Lethal. I don't know if we'll do another pay-per-view match between the two. I'm thinking of ending it maybe on this week's Impact, maybe doing a rematch there and then starting something fresh for the X Division on our No Surrender pay-per-view. And like I said, we're currently in week number 3 of August. We've got a few weeks until No Surrender, so we've still got basically a month's worth of shows to do, and then we'll be there. So that we've got some time, which I think is exactly what we need, is time, because at the moment we've got a fair few things to get through, especially this Bound for Glory series at the moment. We need to keep that moving, keep that rolling, otherwise we're going to fall behind. So there's really not much else to kind of show you. I don't think there's any news for me to kind of dive into. So what we might do is we might start booking a show. So let's get into this week's Impact, and we'll see. We've got any backstage incidents. We've got the one. We've got Melina. What's she done? Her attitudes and issues. We'll give her a bit of a warning. And El Hebner showed up late. Well, I won't punish him for that. That's okay. You show up late for the first time. That's fine. So, Fallen Angel still out injured, so we still can't quite progress our Bad Influence in America's Most Wanted storyline. So, I guess this week we really need to focus on the Bound for Glory series and just strictly focus on those matches this week. Get as many people as we can in match, just so we can keep progressing this series. So, we'll go ahead, book the show, and we'll show you the results. Alright, so we got the results for this week's Impact. We started with a pre-show match between our knockouts. Rebecca Knox and Sarita took on Kim Kong. Sarita 71, Rebecca Knox 73, Awesome Kong 75, Gail Kim 78. To be honest, every woman in this match was really good. Very, very good actually. So our knockouts, they don't have the popularity, but certainly have the ring performance to back it up. So, slow and steady, you could get the knockouts to a high popularity level. They will be very, very useful. Open up the show with the main event Mafia basically declaring that this is now their show. They've beaten down Muhammad Hassan. Nobody can stop them. but our general manager Roddy Piper had other ideas and just issued a bit of a warning to them not to get too ahead of themselves yet, because he is still in control. So perhaps we could maybe start planting a few seeds, maybe add Roddy Piper into the mix, maybe if a storyline could happen there, maybe at Bound for Glory, someone represents Roddy Piper to take on a member of the Main Event Mafia. Might be an option we could go with. We then had Scott Steiner, who took on AJ Styles in a Bound for Glory series match, 86 rated. Now, unfortunately, we had to make this a car crash match because we needed to fill the quota. We could have done it as a pre-show, as a separate match, but we did it on this one, which kind of caused Scott Steiner not to be at his best. But it still ended up being 86, it still achieved what we were hoping for, and Styles was good at 92. So Scott Steiner had a huge surge of popularity, so AJ Styles winning here should help him out a little bit, and maybe even get AJ Styles very close to that 90 popularity level. And then afterwards, Scott Steiner attempted to beat down AJ, but AJ Styles was able to fend him off. So Steiner trying to, I guess, show that he's still the man, but wasn't able to really do so. Bound for Glory series match between R-Truth and Rhino. Oh, we did have two back-to-back crazy matches. I didn't realize that, so that is why that match was brought down a little bit there. Okay, so it was 76, which is a little bit disappointing. And then Rhino, of course, won, and they had a handshake afterwards. So Rhino is off the 0, so he finally gets a victory, and he's officially on the board in the Bound for Glory series after spending a lot of his time on 0 points. R-Truth is the only guy who still has 0 points. Shannon Moore, he called out CM Punk to start that feud off, basically saying that CM Punk's going to be this next hot, free agent signing. Well, Shannon Moore's not that impressed, and he wants to be the first guy to step up to take on CM Punk when he gets here. America's Most Wanted, they had a promo against The Addiction. We can't use Fallen Angel yet in promos or in matches, so that's why we had to go with America's Most Wanted doing that. And it was 89 rated, so that was really, really good. Which, they're pretty good promos, so that's good. We had a video hyping up Nakamura versus Matt Morgan, so we're going to go ahead and do this match. We've been building it for quite some time, so we're just going to go ahead and get it done. And it was at 94. Wow. Matt Morgan 93, Nakamura 86. We gave it 20 odd minutes, so Nakamura actually won. We gave him a count-out victory over Matt Morgan. So reason for that is obviously we want Nakamura and Matt Morgan to have a big global championship match, perhaps at Bound for Glory, perhaps at No Surrender, whatever it's going to be. And so we want this match to take place, and if Nakamura can get a count-out victory, it just kind of puts him in contention for the championship, as well as getting a victory here in the Bound for Glory series. So Nakamura, a count-out victory doesn't get him a hell of a lot of points. It gets him 5 points instead of the usual 7 that he would get for a pinfall. So Nakamura has 19 points, and to get into the top 4, you need 25. So he's actually not too far away from getting himself to the top 4, which would be quite remarkable, really. Chris Jericho had a promo hyping up the match against Jeff Hardy. So Jericho is carrying an injury, so fingers crossed he doesn't aggravate it. We obviously need to use Chris Jericho. We can't really have him sitting out for 3 weeks because he needs to have his quota of matches for the series. So we have to just go ahead and do it. I thought Jericho and Jeff Hardy, whilst it's face versus face, would be still a good combination to do, simply because two of the big names, it hasn't happened yet. So let's see. And 81, oh, so not so great after all. So Jericho obviously was hurting because of the injury. We put Abyss on commentary thinking that would go well, but he wasn't very good on commentary, so probably should have put Christian on there instead. Jeff Hardy 94, Jericho 93, so their in-ring performances were really good, just, for whatever reason, it just didn't work. And Christian actually came in and tried to screw over Jericho, but he accidentally hit Jeff Hardy instead. And Jericho got the win. I actually put down that he won by submission, so I'm not sure why it says pinfall. I'm 90% sure that I pressed submission, so I will ignore that because I did plan and book for that to be a submission victory over Jeff Hardy, so I'm not sure what happened there. And overall 88, so despite a pretty weak main event at the end of it, we still had a pretty good show. So yeah, I guess the injury and face versus face, Abyss not very good. Just a multitude of reasons why the match wasn't as good as it could have been. But that's okay. We still ended up being a good show. Nakamura and Matt Morgan was very, very good. And Nakamura, his popularity is now at that point where he's going to be very, very useful and could potentially be quite quickly one of our best wrestlers on the roster now that he has the popularity to go with it. So we'll have a quick little look at his popularity now. Now that he got it counted over Matt Morgan too. So as you can see, he's in the 70s, so that's fantastic. Low 70s, so he's had a good start there. Scott Steiner, he was at about 90 pop. He got beat by Styles, and AJ Styles, well, you can see 89. So he's almost in the 90s. So, you know, AJ, well, he could quite possibly be the guy to win the Bound for Glory series. I'm probably thinking Jericho or Jeff Hardy as a candidate for the top face to win. But I tell you what, AJ Styles, he's got the popularity now where he could do it, and I'm sure he would have a classic with Muhammad Hassan at Bound for Glory. So who's it going to be? Is it going to be Styles? Is it going to be Jericho? Is it going to be Jeff Hardy, Abyss? I don't know, but geez, it's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting. AJ Styles certainly getting up there. Decision making. So Kelly Couture, just a random, woman we've scoured and found out, and we've decided to give her just a bit of a contract just to fill in some of the roster positions in developmental and give her a chance to see how she goes. She does have a good look, so she could be quite useful. Let's have a look. So, mid-60s mic skills, decent acting, pretty good sex appeal. In ring wise, she's mediocre, so she's not too bad. She could improve. So, give her a chance, give her a shot. Someone different, someone we haven't really seen too much of in an opportunity there. Taz, his contract is expiring, so he's obviously a color commentator. 95 color commentator. Wow, that's quite impressive. We've got some good college commentators, but obviously Taz would be incredible. WWE obviously want to keep him, understandably, but I might offer him a deal. He obviously does come to TNA, and comes to TNA for a while, so it's certainly realistic. So we'll give him a chance, we'll give him a shot, we'll give him a contract, we'll see how he goes. Nigel McGuinness getting a deal. Ken Shamrock, he's staying with Noah. So 43-year-old Ken Shamrock, he's staying in Japan. What's his match average? He's averaging 80. Highest of 94, so he's not too bad despite the age. And you can see most recently a lot of 80s in his recent matches, so he's probably around that 80 mark for sure. But he's got good popularity, but we don't necessarily need him. He's a veteran. We've got enough veterans on the roster. 8.70 impact rating, and Matt Morgan's pretty happy with Nakamura, so he says Nakamura's going to be a star. So Matt Morgan gives him the tick of approval. So we might as well just keep advancing. We're going to do Explosion this week. Unfortunately, we didn't cover a lot of our storylines from Impact. Obviously, we couldn't really do it because we just need to focus in on the Bound for Glory series and just get as many matches as we can done. So we've got to focus on that. That one night only show will be not... actually, the schedule, you need to change that. So it's going to be at the end of the month, so August week 4, which will be 2 weeks before No Surrender, so one more week away, and then we'll do that one night only show, and that should help us just cover that extra week of matches essentially and get us through. So that's great. So we'll have Explosion, and I'd say we might be able to squeeze another match or two in the Bound for Glory series on this show, and then perhaps we'll try and cover some of the storylines that we missed on Impact on this show, and perhaps even start one of the new feuds we've got with Park and Romero, for example. Alright, so Explosion for this week. We've got Monty Brown. I mean, I tried to think of something for Monty Brown to do. He's just currently not in the storyline picture, so I figured, let's see how he goes. Let's see how he goes as a talk show host. I know it's a bit of an odd thing for him to do, but he has pretty good mic skills, so I figured let's try him in this role. And he had a 93 rated segment with Lita and Melina, who started off their feud. So they had a bit of a talk show segment there where they went back and forth on the mic. So it worked out pretty well. It went pretty well, and Monty Brown was a pretty good host, I think. So maybe something we've found there for Monty Brown to do for a little bit. Park and Rocky Romero, they had their first confrontation, start off their feud. Park 76, Romero 78. Park got the victory when he got a surprise roll-up victory over Rocky Romero. and 81 Raiders. So we did that just to start the feud off, and obviously Rocky Romero is pissed off that he lost to Park, who's a low-end guy, and the surprise win will help try and advance that feud. Romero was a little bit annoyed because he's got quite a bit more popularity than Park, but I feel like it was a good decision just to start off Park's career, because 76 right off the bat is very, very impressive, so he's got a lot of potential to go far. Matt Hardy promo on Bobby Roode just to keep that storyline going. Homicide and Austin Aries had a match, 77. Had pretty good chemistry as well. Homicide 92, Aries 80, but only 77, so you probably think that could have been better. I guess the lack of storyline probably didn't help that. And our main event was Abyss and A-Train, so I guess I know this match is heel vs heel, so I figured I'll put it on Explosion, so if it doesn't rate as well, that's okay. And if it does well, then even better, that's fine. So it's a way to get both of these guys a match, and even though it's heel vs heel, it should still work okay. And yeah, 81. So Abyss 96, A-Train 91, so they had a good match, but yeah, it just didn't quite work so well. But that's okay, that's fine. And it's something I never really do, is a post-show match. I figured some people have been asking me and requesting, Brendan, why don't you do post-show matches? Do it, try it. You get more people on the card doing it that way. So let's give it a go. And there's your answer, 55 rated. Matt Sydal 77, Tanahashi 86, Jay Lethal 82, Sabin 86, Eric Young 83. Fatal 5-way, Chris Sabin got the victory, but yeah, it's a post-show match. The reason why I don't do them is because the workers don't take it seriously. They don't try, they just do whatever. You see in house shows when it is the main event or the final show of the night, and they're just kind of playing to the crowd and just having a fun time, not really trying to have the classic match that we want them to really be doing all the time. So yeah, 83 though, and the post show doesn't affect the overall rating, which is good. 83 rated for that show there. So Abyss gets another victory, and with that victory it puts him at 38, so he's currently in the lead right now. He has 38 points in the Bound for Glory series. Jericho has 37, Jeff Hardy 27, Matt Morgan 25, and they are your top 4 at the moment. Matt Morgan's hanging on by a thread. There's 3 guys, Christian, Steiner, and Styles, all on 24, all chasing him down. So WWE have offered Taz another deal. No surprise that they would try and take Taz away from us. We'll give him another year on our deal, and we'll see if he'll consider that 95 color. You got to definitely try and get him in. I think he'd be very good for us. We have some good color commentators. We've obviously got Heyman and Jim Cornette as our color guys, which are very good, but if you got someone who's 95, you may as well try and grab them. Explosion's a little bit weak though, obviously, with Dom West and Jeremy Boris and myself, BrendenPlayz, my user character, doing the announcing there, so that's always going to be pretty lousy, but that's okay. They need to do something in the company, so that's why we still have them on there. But anything else to kind of check out? Our developmental, we've got Hardcore Holly beating Shane, Ted DiBiase Jr. and Seth Rollins 64, MVP beating DDP 64, Hernandez, Cody Rhodes 65. That's pretty good. So yeah, so that's not too bad of a show there. And we've got some more time, so we're going to go ahead and advance up until that next show, and we'll see if there's any more news and things to look at. Okay, so we've advanced up until week number 4 of August. Now, some notable things that took place. Taz, he's staying with WWE. They just gave him a deal that I simply could not match. Dixie would not let me budge. She wouldn't even let me get close to the deal that WWE was offering. The other thing was Christy Hemme. Now, I accidentally deleted the message, but she sent me a message saying, look, if you don't bring me up from developmental, fire me. I don't want to be here. Call me up or get rid of me. So it was a bit of an ultimatum, so I've kind of got no choice but to give her the call up. So that's exactly what we've done. So we've called her up, and we'll see how she goes. I mean, I think she's definitely improved. I think her and ODB are ready. So I was kind of planning on doing it maybe after Bound for Glory, but we've kind of got no choice. So we're going to bring up Christy Hemme. I don't know if she'll appear too much on TV. She might just mainly do dark matches until we're ready to properly debut her, I suppose. And also get a bit of a chance to take a better look at her. Kelly, her contract is up. I'm actually going to let her go. I think we brought her in just to fill a spot in the roster and give her an opportunity. I don't know, maybe we could keep her around. Well, I'll leave it to you guys in the comments. But I looked at her stats and actually realized that she hasn't even she was set as being like a manager and like a semi-active wrestler, which is not kind of true. She's more of an in-ring competitor. So I fixed her up. I gave her a little bit of a boost up to her stats because I think they're unfairly poor. So I gave her a little bit of bump. I know she's terrible, but we gave her a slight little bump up. So she's gone from absolutely abysmal to maybe just abysmal. So we'll take the absolutely out of the equation. But that's pretty much the rest of things that's happened. Not too much else to kind of get into. So next time we come to you, we'll have the one night only event from London, which I think will be really interesting to see how that takes place, what happens there, and obviously more Bound for Glory Series matches will take place. We're getting very, very close to having the Bound for Glory Series final take place, which of course will happen at No Surrender. So stay tuned, lots of exciting things to come just before Bound for Glory. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you leave a like, and as always, 100 likes will give you another episode. Subscribe to see more and enter in my Total Extreme Wrestling giveaway. Link will be in the description down below to win yourself a copy of TEW. If not, use code TEWBP for $5 off. Hurry, because that code will end, and that code will expire at the end of April. So not too long to go now. So make sure you get yourself a copy. Make sure you play TW yourself because you'll enjoy it. And make sure you leave a like on the video and watch the next one, which will be coming out very soon.